Okay, welcome back everybody to the formulajonah YouTube channel. I am of course Jonah. I am covering the 12 hours of Sebring live. We're just about to get underway for the 73rd edition of this iconic endurance race. There is so much to discuss ahead of this one. And we have a action-packed field as well. 56 cars on the grid for another classic endurance race in motorsport history. Welcome to the watch party for the 12 hours of Sebring. I'm going live about 30 minutes before the event gets underway. It will get underway at 10 a.m. local time. By the way, the Florida time zone is Eastern Daylight Time. Right now, where I'm at, it's about 3 hours earlier. So if I'm a little bit tired or a little bit more quieter, that's because it's currently 6:40. So it's very early in the morning for sure. But welcome to everybody who's joined so far. Really appreciate all your support. It's been amazing over this last week, especially during the hype for the 12 hours of Sebring. We had a lot of content that came out. I put out like videos constantly because there's so much to talk about when it comes to this event. We got new entries, we got exciting car battles, we got an epic race that is going to be thrilling regardless. And I think that it's going to be just epic. So as you can see to the right hand side of your screen, we have a list of the top six cars in GTP, or the top six overall. Currently, we have the number 24 BMW at the very top. That was after Dries Vanthoor put the car on pole position for the second time in a row, viewers. Second time in a row. Of course, the first time was at Daytona just a few weeks ago. So BMW looks strong. The question will be, can they continue that pace throughout the rest of the event? And the fact is that Sebring is so unpredictable. We don't know what it's going to be like, especially during the nighttime hours. So I expect this entire grid, wherever they're starting right now, to be completely different. So welcome to everybody who's joined so far. I think this live stream will continue to progress. We have a few people still joining in. That's what I mean by that. We are currently about, as of live streaming this right now, we I think are about 17 minutes until green flags are waved at the Sebring International Raceway in Florida, and then we're gonna get this race underway. So a few quick things I want to point out. GTD and GTD Pro both headed by Ferrari entries. Ferrari looks strong. That's the factor heading out of qualifying and heading into the race that I think everyone should keep in mind. The 296 entries look very strong. AF Corsa took the pole in GTD with Alessandro Pierguidi, of course, an overall Le Mans winner from 2023. And then Albert Costa Balboa, another winner of Le Mans, this time in LMP2, took the pole position for Dragon Speed in the GTD Pro category. So Ferrari on top in both classes. LMP2 looks as tight as ever. On pole position was Stephen Thomas in the TDS Racing entry, but it arguably would have been PJ Hyatt in the number 99 Spike car, if it wasn't for him having a little bit of a mistake at the second to last braking zone. So in general, it's going to look really, really close in LMP2. And for me, I think the big takeaway heading into the start of this race is going to be who survives turn one. We've seen in the past turn one can get kind of chaotic. I think back to more recently in 2023 when there was, I think, an LMP3 car. This was back when LMP3 was still part of the WeatherTech Championship, by the way. Um, Back in LMP3, there was a car that spun around and it was in the middle of the track, and all the GT cars had to kind of go around it at the start because of course, a split start. So it could be chaotic. I hope not. The fact is this is a 12-hour endurance race, so there's a lot to kind of keep in mind. You know, the race can't be won at turn one on lap one. That's a fact that all of the drivers competing today know heading into the event. So we'll see. It's going to be exciting regardless. So anyway, we are just about 15 minutes until green flags at the 12 hours of Sebring. Like I said, it's very early in the morning for me, so I'm still kind of waking up in some sort of scenario. We have two live streams going on right now. We have a second one, which I'm actually managing right behind me on my second laptop. That stream kind of indicates who's starting where. So we have the starting grid for the 56 cars in this event. We have all 13 GTP entries. Oh, and by the way, if you're not familiar with this upcoming event, one entry to definitely keep an eye on is the brand new one to the GTP class. I'm, of course, talking about the Aston Martin Valkyrie AMR LMH. Today, it's going to start 12th on the grid. Drivers are going to be Ross Gunn, Roma DeAngelis, and I believe Alex Riberas. So there's definitely some promising potential from the Aston Martin, but we do expect that car not to be competitive with the other manufacturers in GTP. Another car to keep in mind on is the Lamborghini SC63. That car is brand new in some way because they have Riley now in charge of running the project. So it's going to be a learning step, I think, as well for the Lamborghini team. This is their second time competing with the SC63. Last time, of course, it was with Iron Lynx, though. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'd like to see Lamborghini be competitive in this event, especially after what happened at Daytona. As long as they can survive at least for half the distance, I think I'll be happy. But I mean, I'd like to see them not just survive to the end of the race, but be somewhat competitive and kind of in the fight, or at least on the lead lap in some way. So we'll see. Now, this is a topic that I want to bring up before we get underway because this one specific topic, which I'll mention, is very important. And that's how you can watch this race live. Now, I've been seeing in the comments below, folks are talking about how to watch this race live. It can be kind of confusing, so let me just quickly narrow it down. Now, for you United States viewers, this is going to be a little bit of a different type of thing. Now, usually for IMSA, the broadcasts are shown on Peacock and the USA Network. This race is a little different. It's only going to be shown on Peacock, so no other places to watch for the USA. You have to subscribe to the Peacock streaming service to be able to watch the race. I know subscriptions are not the greatest, but hey, it's just how it goes. So that's how that's how to do it there. For the international viewers, IMSA TV and IMSA's official YouTube channel are the best places to watch. That's the IMSA broadcast. There are other places, though, across the world that are not being shown on IMSA TV and IMSA YouTube. This is kind of how it is for the last couple of years, last couple of races. I believe in Scandinavia, it's Viaplay. That's the option to watch. There's a few other places as well. I know there was... I think the Netherlands, there's a specific different kind of way to watch, not on IMSA TV, not on YouTube. I can't remember which way it is. I don't think it's Viaplay, but I think there is another way. We have a comment coming in. Can you watch the YouTube stream in Norway? No, I don't think you can. As I mentioned, I think Scandinavian viewers will need to watch on Viaplay. I learned that from my live stream co-host David, who unfortunately is not with us today. He's busy for this stream, but he's of course in Denmark and he watches it on Viaplay. But yeah, there's other ways of watching depending on where specifically you live, but the main places are IMSA YouTube, IMSA TV for international viewers, and then exclusively Peacock for the USA viewers. I'm watching on Peacock because yeah, it's the only place to watch in the United States of America. Okay, so just about 10 minutes to go until green flags here at Sebring. A lot to look forward to, of course. As you can see, I have a Porsche Penske Motorsport hat as I'm supporting one of my favorite teams at IMSA. I also have a Wayne Taylor Racing shirt because I also like that team as well. So I'm definitely going full blown on the merch here. But yeah, there's a lot to look forward to. There truly is. I know I keep saying that, but there is. So yeah, we're going to get underway in about 10 minutes time, exactly from this point onward. 12 hours of racing. I will not be streaming the live feed. I cannot do that. I will be streaming the live data as well as my reaction and just talking about the race in general. If I streamed the live feed, it wouldn't be good. I would get copyright and all that sort of thing. I want to avoid that. But yeah, I will post in the comments below in just a bit where to kind of find the racing because in case anybody missed that, it can be quite confusing. Okay, so Getting excited, really, really special time. We had Daytona, a very iconic event. Porsche Penske on top in that race. Porsche seemed to be very quick here as well. As you can see in the live data here off to the right of the screen, three of the 963 entries are in the top five, all starting back to back. So that's the two Penske entries and the number five Mustang sampling Proton competition Porsche, which, by the way, I predicted in third in my predictions for this race. A little bit of a bold prediction, if you ask me. But that car was very competitive last year, especially in the hands of Julian Andlauer. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. We have a comment coming in saying, "What about Cadillac? Do you think you like the team?" I love the team. I mean, as I said, I'm wearing a Wayne Taylor Racing shirt. I love the Whelen Engineering Squad as well. I think that car is probably, if not my favorite car in the hypercar or GTP field. Um, Obviously, the factor pointing that is because of the sound. This race, we have to remember that Cadillac is affected by the BOP. They have a very heavy car. They're not the best when it comes to power, so they're kind of lacking. Wayne Taylor himself, the team boss and owner, of course, of Wayne Taylor Racing, mentioned in an interview that they're kind of going to be there or thereabout in qualifying, which was kind of what we saw. And then he said that they're going to come back stronger in the race. And I mean, a lot of people do that, of course. I mean, that's what we want to hear. But I genuinely think that Wayne Taylor is right here. The way he was talking about it is that Cadillac is going to be a little bit stronger in the race. Last year, they were arguably the fastest with either of the Chip Ganassi or Action Express entries. Of course, drama befell the Whelen Engineering car with that massive crash for Pipo Derani, arguably the biggest crash of the entire season. Um, but yeah, it's gonna be really big. I think this race is gonna be really big, and I think Cadillac in general, they're not gonna have the fastest car like they did last year, but I believe that they're gonna be competitive and maybe someone in the fight, at least with a lot of the other entries. So we are just about to get underway here at Sebring. A lot to look forward to, as I mentioned. Thank you to everybody who's joined so far. We got over 80 viewers live, which I love to see. Really do appreciate that. You can stay with us for the first couple of laps. So I'm going to be streaming here from the race start for about an hour or so. Um, I would love to stream for the full 12 hours, but of course I can't talk that long. I think I would lose my voice. But yeah, there's just a lot to look forward to. Sebring's an iconic event. It's America's oldest endurance race as well, dating back all the way to 1952 with the first 12-hour edition. Even before that, Sebring was around in 1950 with the little Crosley Hotshot taking victory in that first event. Of course, it wasn't 12 hours, but it still was a Sebring endurance race. Um, and then, of course, we have to remember that this track can be pretty difficult to manage, pretty difficult to master, considering the fact that the bumps are so unreliable. I guess that's the word I would use. I mean, we have to remember that the old Hendricks Army Airfield runway strips are still there. These are the strips that the cars race on. They've done so since the track was opened in the 50s. So I think that it's definitely going to prove to be, once again, a test of reliability, enduring throughout the race. And this is why I mentioned in one of my videos I did recently, where I mentioned that this is one of the biggest race. This is one of the hardest races to complete. And this is one of the races where the element of endurance racing is so prominent. And I think that compared to other events out there, Sebring's enduring element is very very big because of those bumps, because of the track surface, because of the circumstances, and ultimately because of how competitive the field is. So yeah, it's gonna be epic. I mean, I think that Sebring is probably the best race of the year from what I've seen over my time of watching IMSA. Um, from what I've researched, Sebring also provides some of the most thrilling action in IMSA across any of the championships in the WeatherTech Sports Car series, of course. But yeah, I can't wait for this race. I really can't. And also, viewers, for anybody that's new to watching this event or kind of unfamiliar with it, keep an eye on the nighttime hours. Wait until the night, because that's when things get really, really crazy. Because during the nighttime hours, the competition gets so competitive. It's a completely different race, and honestly, it turns into a sprint event. It's no longer an endurance race. It's just full on the gas. They're going and they're trying to win. That's truly what it is, and it's epic. It's really epic. So here we go. We're just about a couple minutes away from the start of the 12 hours of Sebring. Yeah, really excited for this. If you have any further questions about the event or just in general, please let me know in the comments below. Now is the time. Before, of course, this event gets underway and the real show of this stream happens. Also, I completely forgot, but there is a second live stream going on, so I'm gonna quickly check and see if that one's doing okay. I want to make sure that there's it's not like glitching out or something like that. It's been running for the last like I don't even know how long. It's been like 3 hours. Okay, it's doing well. Just want to make sure it's going good. I'll keep it open for the next couple of minutes until, of course, the race kind of starts and we'll get underway with that. Um, but yeah, for now, this is the mainstream. This is where this is where I'm talking. This is where the action is taking place. But yeah, right now we're just kind of waiting, for the cars to start the formation lap for the race to begin here in Sebring. To me, I'm really really curious to see how BMW performs. But the fact is that we have to remember that it's kind of hard to read, but on the top right hand side of the screen, look at that second place sitter, the Acura ARX06, and look at the driver specifically. Like I said, it's a little hard to read. It's Tom Blomqvist. Now, for anyone that's unfamiliar with who Blomqvist is, you put him in the car in the final 20 minutes and he'll get the job done, or at least he'll get up there and fight for wins. He'll get up there and fight for positions no matter the performance of the car. He's starting second. I think that Dries Vanthoor has to get like an absolutely a brilliant start if he's going to hold off Blomqvist, because I feel that Blomqvist is going to lead out of turn three. I think that Acura are going to lead this race out of turn three. That's my suspicion. I predicted that exact car to win. Acura, of course, won last time out. This was their last big endurance race that they won. Of course, a different team now with Meyershank Racing. But I mean, if you look at the 60 lineup in particular, you got Scott Dixon, who's a six-time IndyCar champion. You got Colin Braun, who's just one of the coolest drivers out on the grid. He pulls off some of the most amazing overtakes. Think back to Laguna Seca in 2023. And then, of course, as I mentioned, Tom Blomqvist. I already talked about how incredible a driver he is as well. So those three drivers make up probably one of the best driver lineups on the grid. But then we also have some other talented drivers as well. If you look at the pole sitting car, the 24 entry, you got Philippine, Dries Vanthoor, and Kevin Magnussen. Yeah, Magnussen. He's the F1 driver who got on the podium at Australia on his debut race. Has been racing in F1 since 2014. Took a little bit of time off, but he's racing in endurance competition now with BMW in IMSA and the WEC, predominantly in the WEC, but yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I really hope BMW can do this, especially considering the fact that the last time they were on pole position, BMW won the race. And of course, that event was 1999 with the V12 LMR. A lot of people forget that BMW not only won Le Mans that year, but they won Sebring as well. They beat the Dyson Racing, Riley and Scott, by around, I think it was 9.2 seconds or something like that. What at the time it was the closest finish in Sebring history, but nevertheless BMW won. So I think that we're gonna be in for an epic race, and if BMW can repeat something like they did in qualifying for Sebring, maybe they can repeat the 1999 result and win as well. But the thing is that even though that race had one of the most competitive fields in the modern era of endurance racing, it's still probably not as competitive compared to what we see now. 13 entries in GTP. The last time that was the case was in 1992. 1992 at the Rolex 24 at Daytona, or then it was known as the 24 Hours of Daytona. So yeah, there's it's definitely the most competitive field in GTP. Keep an eye on the GT field as well. There's a lot of stories to follow. Can Corvette and BMW return their rivalry? The BMW entries from Paul Miller Racing are starting just ahead of the two Corvette entries. I mean, tell me there isn't going to be chaos. I mean, they start on GTD Pro row. I think the BMWs start right in front of each other, and the Corvettes start on the other side, right in front of each other. So it's definitely going to be exciting. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, we are just about to get underway for the 12 Hours of Sebring in 2025. This is the 73rd edition of this endurance race. I'm going to post in the comments below where you can watch this race live, just so you all can see it, not just watch me. The best place, of course, I'm just going to write it here. Best place to watch is on Peacock for the USA. Then IMSA TV and YouTube for international viewers. Okay, there we go. Just want to make sure that the message goes out, and then we're gonna get underway. I think the formation lap is just about to begin for the 56 cars on the grid. I know it can get quite complicated of how to watch the racing live. I know that as a fan myself, I in the past, before I started doing a lot of research on like where to watch and stuff like that, and I didn't know, it got really complicated because it was like, where could you watch live? It's kind of unknown. Is it on here? Is it on there? It's very very overwhelming for sure. So I want to try and make it as easy as possible to understand. So we are going to get underway. YouTube is only live in the US, right? No, it's actually the other way around. So YouTube, the stream is available for international viewers. The Peacock stream is available for the USA. For those that didn't hear my original announcement over where to watch, in the USA for this race, the USA network and all other networks for watching IMSA are unavailable. It's only Peacock for the USA. That's where I'm watching. That's where most everybody else in America is watching, or in the United States of America. But for me, my understanding is that the majority of international viewers are able to watch on YouTube TV and IMSA's official YouTube channel. So that's where to watch. I will post that little comment here so you all can see exactly how that goes. Oh, and by the way, I got to make sure to turn off my other live stream so folks don't get confused over what's going on. But yeah, I think the formation lap is underway. We are just about to get underway for the 12 Hours of Sebring. One of the most epic races in endurance racing, arguably the best race in North America as well, depending on who you talk to. Porsche looks drawn in GTP, so do Acura and BMW. Cadillac are a little bit on the back foot compared to last year. And then keep an eye on the other entries from Lamborghini and Aston Martin. The Aston Martin, of course, is brand new to the series in GTP. Lamborghini is coming back to Sebring under the Riley banner, or at least the Automobili Lamborghini Squadra Corse banner. But that's a new team compared to Iron Lynx, who ran the car last year. So, yeah, there's just a lot to look forward to. The Aston Martin car is a big deal for IMSA, considering the fact that this is the first Le Mans hypercar to race in the championship. So, yeah, just really exciting stuff. Jack Aiken, unfortunately, had an issue in qualifying with the 31 car. It was a mechanical issue. That car starts at the very back of the GTP field. It starts in 13th and stone dead last in the class. So, watch that car kind of come back through the field. Of course, The 31 Cadillac was arguably the most competitive out of all the entries in GTP in the last 2 years. Yeah, in 2023, that car got pole, and it kind of fell back throughout the rest of the race, but then eventually won after the chaos that happened that race. And then in 2024, they were dominating. They got on pole position again, and then of course it was the chaos that unfolded for the 31 entry. The Wheelan car seems to not get a break. It's had so much bad luck throughout the course of its history. The last time it won was 2 years ago here at Sebring. That was the last time the 31 car won in IMSA in competition. So it's been a long time. And considering this car has always been up there, or at least the majority of the time has been up there fighting for wins, it's quite unfortunate to see that it never was able to win, at least for now. Maybe that will change here. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so I'm just gonna check up on the second live stream, make sure that one's going okay right now. I don't want to stop because there's quite a few viewers on there, and I don't want to basically kick them off the live stream. But yeah, heading into this race, Porsche looks strong. Acura looks strong. BMW, of course, looks strong. LMP2 is unknown of where one car is or the other. Ford don't look super strong in GTD Pro. They are starting 9th and 10th in the race compared to Daytona. It seems like a little bit more of a difficult race for the Ford entries. This is also, if I'm not mistaken, the track that they still have the lightest car at in the pro field, or at least in the GT field. So it's not been a perfect weekend so far for Multimatic Motorsports. Rexy starting second in GTD Pro. Lauren Heinrich booked that car in on the front row, so I could definitely see Rexy taking the lead of the pro category. Of course, champions from last year, AO Racing, looking to get Rexy's next gold tooth or next win. The car has braces now, by the way, after the contact with the Get Speed Mercedes at Daytona, where the entire front came off. So, yeah, that car's in the field. Watch out for that one. As I mentioned, the Corvettes and BMWs are there. By the way, if you maybe are watching the live stream or whatever, and you're wondering where are those yellow Corvettes? They're kind of missing from the grid. Well, they're not missing from the grid, but they are in different liveries. So there are a few new liveries on the grid this year, and on this particular grid this year. The Corvettes are running a retro white and blue livery, so very different from the traditional yellow Corvette color scheme that we see. So those particular factory Pratt Miller cars, I believe, are starting towards the front. I think they're starting back to back. So I think they're 6th and 7th or something like that, or 5th and 6th. But those entries definitely ones to watch out for. Corvette looking strong, but they are running different liveries. BMW has a 50th anniversary livery for celebrating BMW's North America establishment in 1975. It's definitely a time for BMW to win. I mean, 75 was their first win, 99 was their last win. It's kind of all piecing all together, but I expect this grid to look completely different by the time we get to the end of the race. Acura also have a different livery with both of their cars, with the Meyershank Racing entries. Lexus and PR1 Matheson Motorsports, the Vassar Sullivan 14 car, has a red streak at the back. PR1 Matheson Motorsports is running a completely different livery compared to the Wins one that they had in LMP2 last race with Ben Keating. That car is now teal, so definitely a different livery. Okay, so we are just about to get underway. I'm going to grab some water real quickly, and then we'll get this race underway. Okay. So, just about to start this event. I'm just looking at if you see me kind of going off to the side of the screen, that's because I'm looking at the live feed, looking to see how things are going. the cars are lining up for the start of the 73rd edition of the 12 Hours of Sebring. It's going to be epic. Watch on Peacock if you're in the United States of America. Otherwise, IMSA TV, IMSA's YouTube channel, that's the best place to watch for international viewers. That hopefully will clear things up if there's any confusion there. Thank you for all the support. Really do appreciate it. We are now just about to get underway for the 12 Hours of Sebring. It's a split start once again, so prototypes and GTs, LMP2, GTP, GTD Pro, and GTD. And here we go, viewers. I think this is about to get underway. Dries Vanthoor will lead the field once again for the second time in succession in IMSA. Can Tom Blomqvist take the lead in the Acura car? Who will win the 73rd edition of Sebring? It's green, green, green here at this iconic endurance race. BMW leads the field away. Dries Vanthoor, great start by him, and he moves ahead of Tom Blomqvist to cover him off. A very good start amongst the entire field. No major incidents so far. The Porsche is looking to challenge the second place Acura. That's the number 7 car. It's Felipe Nasr, I believe, behind the wheel. The top 4 stay the same. Very good start by the number 93 Acura. Proton Competition Porsche, a little bit of a lockup for that car. Moves off the track and down some positions. So the top 4 stay the same. 93 Acura is now in 5th ahead of the 40 Cadillac and the JDC Miller Porsche. Big losers out of the race was the Proton Competition Mustang Sampling Porsche, which is down the order. Meanwhile, in GT, very good start. No big changes so far. One of the Corvettes is trying to challenge not one but 2 BMWs, it seems, as I believe that's Antonio Garcia, the 3 car, if I'm not mistaken. But so far, Dragon Speed continue to lead off of AO Racing in GTD Pro. I can't see the GTD field just yet. Can't see who's leading. I think it's still the 21 Ferrari. Oh, a little bit of an incident. That's the 13 AWA Corvette that spun around. So that was a car that won, of course, last time out at Daytona. Ray Fadani behind the wheel. That car's stuck in the middle of the track. Not a great start for AWA as of yet. But up at the front, Porsche has now got ahead of Acura. That's neat to see. And I'm just seeing a replay real quickly of what happened to the AWA car. Spin from the 70 Inception Ferrari, which I believe started 55th in this race, towards the back of the field. Porsche looks strong right now. They look really, really strong. Where's that Aston Martin, by the way? I think it's last right now. So not a great start for the Proton Competition Porsche. It's moved down to second to last in the field. It was really not a great start. That car started 5th in this race. It's down to 12th now. It's down to 12th now. The Aston Martin has dropped down to 13th. Pretty good start from the Action Express Racing Cadillac. It's moved up the order. I believe I can't remember who exactly was on board of that car. Pretty good racing in the GT field so far as we complete the first lap of this particular class right now. AF Corsa continues to lead in GTD. Also, LMP2 is continue to be led by TDS Racing with the number 11 car, which started on pole position. No change at the lead in LMP2 just yet. But so far, Dries Vanthoor leads the field away in the BMW. A very good start from the 24 car. That's exactly what Vanthoor needed. But now he's got his brother's car right behind. But this time it's Felipe Nasr behind the wheel. We know how competitive Nasr can be. He's a winner of Sebring as well, having won the event with Cadillac and the Action Express Racing team back in 2019. So he's definitely got the ability to take Porsche back to the top here at Sebring. I think the first time since 2008, I want to say, or 2007, somewhere around there. So, in general, really good start for Dries Vanthoor. He's already built up a 1.4 second gap to the number 7 Porsche. The number 60 Meyer-Shank Racing Acura is in 3rd, followed by the number 6 Porsche, and completing the top 5 is the second of the Acuras, the number 93 ARX06, I believe. That's Renger van der Zande behind the wheel of that car. So, good start by Acura, good start by Porsche, and good start by BMW. The Cadillacs are also moving up towards the field. And the big loser, as I said, in the GTP field was that number 5 Proton Competition Porsche. Really bad start for that car, down to 12th from 5th on the grid. So yeah, not the start that Proton competition would have hoped for, but it's a long race. This is just the start of it. We still have many more hours to come, and it's definitely going to change around. So over in the GT field, pretty good gap for Albert Costa Balboa, who put the Dragon Speed number 81 Ferrari on pole position in the GTD Pro category. He continues to lead for Ferrari. No change for the leaders as of yet in all four categories. Big incident! A little bit of an incident. Actually, not as big as an incident as I said, but two LMP2 cars off the track. That is the number 18 Era Motorsports car, and that is the number 88 PCOM Racing car. First incident of the day in terms of a some sort of bigger one. We had a little bit of spin for the AWA Corvette, but nothing like this. Seems like the Era car might be stuck. That's Tobias Lutka in the Era car. This is the entry that won last year. Oh. Tom says, first year in 7 years I've missed Sebring, sitting in a hospital bed instead of the race. Nothing serious, just annoying. Wish I was there. Go Beamer, go K-Mac. I'm sorry to hear that you're in the hospital. I hope you recover soon. And yeah, I thank you for joining in. I really appreciate that, and I hope everything's okay. And I hope that you get to go to Sebring again soon. And I echo your words as well. Go BMW, go Kevin Magnussen. I mean, what a race that would be for BMW if they could pull off a big result. So yellow flag across the track. That's because of the stricken Era Motorsports. So first yellow flag of the track. I believe it's no safety car, but the Era car is stuck in the grass. It can't get out. Let's see. That car is thankfully... Wow, the AMR safety crew does a brilliant job to get these cars, like, dealt with. This is something we don't really see in other forms of racing. You got Era Motorsports, their car stuck in the grass right now, and the AWA team, the AMR medical team are there instantly with all their trucks. They're just hounding that LMP2 car. And yeah, it's just, it's great to see. We have a comment coming in. I thought the official race would be streamed on YouTube. So it is streamed on YouTube, but only for international viewers. So if you're outside of the USA, it is streamed on YouTube. It really depends on where you're at in the USA. It's streamed only on Peacock. And there are other places, I believe, like the Netherlands, Scandinavia, and others that don't have the race being able to be viewable on YouTube. There's other places. I believe Scandinavia has Viaplay. That's where to watch the race. Really depends on where you're at in the world. I might be able to help. I don't know exactly where you are, so I don't want to. I don't know exactly. So it really depends on where viewers are in the world. Depending on where you're at. The racing will be streamed on different platforms, but predominantly it's mainly in the USA, it's on Peacock, and then otherwise it's on IMSA TV or IMSA YouTube channel. So, my mistake. There is a safety car out on track. So the Cadillac safety car is being brought out because of the stricken Era Motorsports car. So unfortunately, Dries Vanthoor's lead will be reduced. It was a really good start for Dries, so unfortunate to see that, but hopefully he can get another good start off of the safety car restart. But hold up a second. Is there a penalty for the 24, the race leading BMW? No. What happened here? What is going on for Dries Vanthoor? That's the race leading car drama for the 24. Can't tell exactly. Is something at the start happened with the BMW? Maybe Dries jumped the start. That's why he has such a good advantage. But I don't know. I need more details to see what's going on. But this is not what Rahal Letterman Lenigan need. If it is indeed a penalty for the BMW car, I hope it's nothing too serious. If it's a drive-through, that would be so horrible. Let's see here. Where is the BMW? It's in the lead right now. It's not going into the pit lane. We have drive-through for changing lanes. Oh, this is horrible for Dries Vanthoor, who's going to have to come into the pit lane and serve a drive. This is horrible for BMW. I can't believe this. This is similar to what they got at Daytona with another, I think it was a stop and go or a drive-through, but this is horrible for BMW. I have no idea. So changing lanes. That's interesting. I need to see that back again because it seemed like he was okay, but I don't know. This is horrible for BMW if it is indeed a drive-through penalty for the 24 car this early on. This is not what you want to see. So if this were the case, this is just I'm not. It hasn't been officially confirmed by IMSA as of yet on my screens, but if BMW have a drive-through penalty, inheriting the lead will be Porsche Penske Motorsport, and it will be Porsche in first and third with the Penske entries, and Acura will be in second. The exact finishing order of Daytona, if I'm not mistaken. Is there an update regarding the live stream on YouTube? Yes, the live stream on YouTube is still available for international viewers, not for USA viewers. You can watch it if you're outside of the US. Of course, depending on where you're at. The majority of outside of the US viewers can watch it on IMSA YouTube channel. It really depends on where you are in the world. But yeah, I don't know. So, I'm gonna grab some water real quickly. Oh, and I gotta turn off the second stream. Actually, let me do that real quickly before. Sorry, everybody that's watching over there. I know it's kind of abrupt. Okay. Just want to make sure that live stream heads off. So there was a few people in the live chat of the second stream that were asking why isn't this the live feed? Well, it says on the live stream that it's only the starting grid first off. But also I can't show the live feed. If I would, it would be copyrighted, and I don't want to deal with that. And it's just a pain. It's not worth it for me. The starting grid is better, and it only happens until the start of the race. That's how it's been for every single race that we've done this. It's been a huge success every time we've done it for either Bathurst 12-hour, Daytona, WEC. It depends. So, yeah, I think we're going to see the BMW 24 car come into the pits very shortly for the drive-through, unless, I mean, this would be the best time to do it if indeed is a drive-through penalty for the 24 car. But the safety car is going in, unless he has to serve it while the green flags are there. Is the penalty for Dries because he moved across before the finishing line? I believe that's the case. I believe he changed lanes. I need to take a look at that because I'm still kind of confused over it. Dries Vanthoor is leading the field away. I don't think he's coming into the pit lane right now. If he were coming into the pit lane, it would have been under safety car. So why hasn't he done that now? Unless something's going on. Anyway, Dries Vanthoor leads the field away. I'm just going to call it as I see it. Porsche, with the number 6 car, is challenging Blomqvist. That is Jaminet, who's looking to challenge the Acura and trying to get Porsche into third now. And he successfully does. Wow, what a move by Jaminet. Porsche are now second and third in this race. This is incredible. From the 963 entries, they are showing incredible pace. What class is the Aston Martin Valkyrie in? It's in GTP. So that Aston Martin car is scheduled to is racing in GTP. I believe it's unfortunately last in the session. We don't expect it to be super competitive. Yeah, it's I think that car is further down the order. Also, a move going on. One of the Lamborghinis is involved. We'll have to see Lamborghini doing well. It seems. Where's that Lamborghini? Can't tell where it is. I think it's behind the Whelen Cadillac. Porsche look unbelievably quick right now. The Aston Martin Valkyrie is actually hanging on to the pack, so this is going pretty well right now for Heart of Racing, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So Porsche looks strong. If BMW truly has a drive-through penalty, they're going to be leading 1-2. Right behind the Porsches are the two Acuras, the Meyer-Shank Racing cars, the 60 ahead of the 93. Then comes the first of the Cadillacs. That's the number 10 car in 6th. And then JDC Miller Motorsports Porsche. Lamborghini doing quite well. Their car is now just behind the JDC Miller Porsche. The number 10 Cadillac has dropped down the order. So the car that I was talking about, I think, was the 40. But yeah, so I don't want to jinx anything, but Lamborghini are doing quite well. Dries Vanthoor continues to lead the field. I'm kind of waiting to see if he's coming into the pit lane. And there he goes. He comes into the pit lane. So Vanthoor is into the pits for the drive-through penalty. He's got to serve it now, I guess. This is so unfortunate for BMW, but hopefully they can come back stronger in the race. This is devastating for BMW fans alike. And to have, I mean, thankfully it's not a stop and go. I mean, that would be worse. And thankfully their car isn't like out of the race or something like that. That would be horrible. But right now the 24 car is going to drop to last in GTP. Super, super unfortunate. It's going to drop all the way down the order, but it will climb back up. I have no doubt about that. I think a perfect example is the 25 BMW, the sister entry. Last time out at Daytona, I think they had a penalty or something happened earlier on in the Daytona event. That car will... What I was saying there was that car came back through the field, and I think the 24 car will do the same. It also had a drive-through penalty at Daytona, and it came back. But this is certainly going to hurt Team RLL's race. That car will come up through the field, but yeah. So it's a Porsche Penske 1-2 at Sebring right now. Nazar ahead of Jaminet, 7 ahead of the 6. Acura are in third and fourth, and then comes the first of the Cadillacs, the 40 car, with Louis Delatraz behind the wheel. BMW, this is such an unfortunate situation for them, but we can only look forward. I think they have an extremely fast car. BMW, I mean, I think it's going to be, once again, a fight between Porsche and BMW at the front, at least for now. Acura seems somewhat competitive, and so do Cadillac, honestly. And so do Lamborghini as well, actually. The number 63 car is somewhat in the fight. This is exactly what I wanted to see. I don't want to jinx it or anything like that, but, yeah. Keep up the great work from Formula John. Thank you very much, Jonathan. I really appreciate that. Cole says, thank you, darn. I wanted the Valkyrie to stomp the field. I wanted that too. You know, I think that would be awesome. Maybe next year. You know, I think that this year is all going to be about a learning year for Aston Martin in the Valkyrie program. With the Heart of Racing, this is going to be a learning program. Sebring is definitely going to be a learning event. The next two are also going to be the same. I think the Valkyrie won't start showing some true pace until Watkins Glen, I would say. That's when it's going to start showing some pretty decent pace. Oh, mechanical black flag for the FAF Lamborghini. So that's the plaid Lamborghini in GTD Pro. That car, the back part of it is missing, I think, a little bit of it, some sort of contact. So that the mechanical black flag means that the car needs to come into the pit lane to repair the damage as soon as possible. So the FAF car will likely head into the pit lane to repair the damage. But yeah, that's that. So currently, no change for the other three classes in terms of the lead. Porsche now leads in GTP. That's only because of the drive-through penalty for Dries Vanthoor and the number 24 car. Truly not what BMW needed, but hopefully the 24 car will be back in the fight like it was the Daytona. This is still a very long race, and once a yellow flag or a safety car comes out, they'll cycle back up to the front, surely. That's 100% confirmed. Unless they're like a lap down or something like that. But right now they're not. So, up at the front, Porsche Penske continue to lead. 1-2, the number 7, ahead of the number 6. Blomqvist is in third for Meyer-Shank Racing, so Acura are in third and fourth. It seems that Porsche have a very strong car right now. At least the 7 and the 6. They may be pushing a little bit too, a little bit right now, depending on their strategy. But I mean, if this is just the raw pace of the 963, then wow, I think that Porsche definitely have a strong car. And it's not just the Penske entries, the privateer cars also have strong pace. I'm currently looking at JDC Miller's number 85 car. That entry is on the back of the 5th placed number 40 Wayne Taylor Racing Cadillac. So Porsche is looking to get up there as well. And I think Neil Johnny is also climbing through the field. Also, very good start. I'm just going to look at the screen real quickly. Very good start by Romain Grosjean in the Lamborghini. He's up to 7th right now. So far looking pretty good for the Riley Run entry. Hopefully it's a different situation. Looks to be some sort of brake change also with the FAF Lamborghini at the back. Or what is that going on right now? Looks to be brake cables. Is this a brake change for FAF Motorsports? I can't tell. There's a bunch of crew members in the way. Can't tell exactly what's going on there. But that car, definitely not the start that they would have wanted. But hey, that's life, you know. I mean, you can't have a perfect race. I mean, heading into and there goes the engine cover. That's wonderful. I mean, heading into this race last night, I was thinking, you know, I want all these manufacturers and teams to go well, but we know for a fact, I mean, judging by the past, that there's going to be a car out or having some sort of issue. Speaking of issue, drama for the pole-sitting Ferrari, the race-leading Ferrari in GTD. That's Alessandro Pierguidi off the track at one of the turns. That's the race-leading car that's gone off the track. It's drifting down the order. It seems like some sort of damage as well for the 296. This is definitely not what the 296 would have wanted. And what's going on here? Did he just spin? I think he just spun. Wow. I think he just spun. So the 296 that was leading this race is now down the order. Taking the lead is the Mercedes of Kenton Kush. That's the Korthoff Competition Motors 32 car. I think, yeah, we're seeing another replay of it. Pierguidi just spun, it seems. Or something broke or something like that. That is super unfortunate for Ferrari. It seems like that car has some sort of issue because it's going kind of slow. So something's clearly wrong with the AF Corsa run entry. That is unfortunate. What is going on with race leaders in this race? Hopefully there's no drama for the leaders in LMP2 or GTD Pro. And the AF Corsa car heads into the pit lane and will surely be at least in at the back of the field. Meanwhile, FAF Motorsports have fixed the problems for the number 9 Lamborghini. Andrea Caldarelli brings the car back out on track, so that's good for the FAF crew. But not the start that they would have wanted, and not the start for the car that I predicted to win in GTD Pro, of course. So, yeah, unfortunate for sure, but hopefully this car will come back stronger. Something's going on with the AF Corsa entry. Looks to be a driver change as well, but this is not the start that they would have wanted for sure. Okay, so the leaders continue to be Porsche Penske Motorsport in GTP, TDS Racing in LMP2. In the lead continues to be Albert Costa Balboa in the number 81 Ferrari from Dragon Speed, and now taking over the lead from the problems for the AF Corsa Ferrari is the number 32 Korthoff Competition Mercedes. Now, that's the car that I predicted to finish in the lead and win GTD, so I wouldn't mind if it finishes there. Comment coming in from James Knoll, who asks, why isn't IMSA TV showing race live like they would be on their YouTube channel? I'm not sure. Is that maybe there's an issue with IMSA TV, or maybe a specific issue with your feed for IMSA TV? I would try resetting the app or the whatever, however you're watching it on IMSA TV. Maybe that's the suggestion. Otherwise, they need to see what's going on there. Oh, I see what's going on. If you're in the USA, then yeah, if you're in the USA, then yeah, IMSA TV is not available. It's Peacock that's available. I'll just say this real quickly, just so it's it's more clear. For international viewers, the best place to watch is going to be on IMSA TV and IMSA's YouTube channel, but those options are not available in the USA. The only way you can watch racing in the USA is on the Peacock streaming service. That's how I'm watching. That's how the majority of American viewers are watching as well. But yeah, this is definitely that's definitely the way to watch it. It's different from how it has been in the past. In the past, there's been the USA Network stream, but this is only Peacock, so that's the way to watch it. I know it can be a little confusing at times. For all those interested in the Valkyrie, the live stream is showing the car out on track right now. It's doing quite well. Ross Gunn behind the wheel of that entry. Oh, and a little bit of an issue for one of the GTD Pro entries. That's the number 20 Proton Competition Porsche. Had a little bit of a spin at the same place that it seems if Corsa had, a little bit of contact with the race-leading GTD entry. So contact with Kenton Cush's number 32 Mercedes brought the 20 car into a spin. So that could be a penalty for the race-leading Mercedes, honestly. I need to see a replay back. Actually, let's see here. No, we have a replay. Oh. Now, it seems like the 32 was in a place where it probably shouldn't have, but it also seems the 20 car could have left the 32 a little bit more space. So I don't know, that could just be a racing incident or like a warning or something like that. But I don't know, there could be a penalty for the race leading car in GTD. If that's the case, then taking over the lead in that class would be the 57 Windward Racing Mercedes. So yeah, that's going to be interesting for sure. So far, pretty good in GTP. The only entry that has suffered some sort of issue is the 24, the pole position entry. Drama for Dries Vanthoor. He got a drive-through for changing lanes, it seems. Oh, and a move right now for, what is that? The 63 Lamborghinis going down the order a little bit. The BMW has got ahead of the Lamborghini and up into 8th. So Roman Grosjean goes down to 9th. Earlier, the Whelen Cadillac also got ahead into 7th. So, yeah, that car's making its way through the field after the drama that it had in qualifying. I didn't know there's an onboard for the Valkyrie. I didn't know that. That's cool. So IMSA has an onboard for the Aston Martin Valkyrie. Sometimes they don't have one for the new cars, but this is cool. They have an onboard of the Valkyrie. Love to see it. I'll have to take a look and ride on board with that car when I get an opportunity later today. So right now, wait, hold on. Something happened to the what happened to the 10 Cadillac? It's dropped back quite a bit. The Aston Martin Valkyries actually got ahead of the number 10 Cadillac, so that car's doing quite well. Meanwhile, the number 25 BMW, that's the sister car, is right on the back of the Whelen Cadillac. This proves how competitive BMW are in this session. This car is looking very competitive. The Valkyrie is actually right on the back of the Proton Competition Porsche as well. So Aston Martin's there. This is definitely not the case from the WEC Qatar event when the Aston Martins kind of just disappeared throughout the field. So far, the Valkyrie's doing quite well, I want to say. It's kind of staying with the pack. I mean, I expected it to drop back a little bit, but I didn't expect it to be up there in the fight right now this early on. Or this late on, that's what I meant. So up at the front, Porsche Penske continues to lead with a 1 second gap separating the two cars, a further second gap from the number 6 car to the two Acuras. That's the Blomqvist entry, the number 60 car, and Renger van de Zande's car, the number 93 entry. So, looks like traffic is starting to become an issue as Blomqvist is actually closed up to the Porsche, so he's gained a little bit of time. We're having a lot of racing, it seems, this weekend. For those that are interested as well, Formula One is also starting their season today. Qualifying just happened. I will not spoil anything for Formula One fans out there in case you haven't seen the race, or you haven't seen qualifying. I mean, the race will be happening later on, and that's the Australian Grand Prix. And yeah, it's the first race of the 2025 season, so definitely cool. IMSA official is in the YouTube chat. Thank you so much for the support, IMSA. Really appreciate that. Shout out formulajonah. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Love the event that's televised here. We have so much action going on. Porsche Penske leading the field away in GTP. LMP2 continues to be led by the number 11 TDS racing car. I believe that's Stephen Thomas in the car. So great to see IMSA in the chat. Really appreciate the support as always. And this continues to be an epic race. Okay, so Ferrari continues to lead in GTD Pro. Pretty close gap, actually, between first and second position. I believe that's Lauren Heinrich in the number 77 Rexy car. That's the champion from last season in GTD Pro. That's the champion of AO Racing's entry. That car, the fan favorite Rexy, with the braces now, of course, closing up to Albert Costa Balboa's Dragon Speed number 81 Ferrari. So a close battle in GTD Pro. BMW and Corvette continue their strong fight in GTD Pro as well. Meanwhile, GTD has the number 32 Korthoff Competition Motors Mercedes AMG GT3 continuing to lead. I believe it's a Mercedes 1-2 in the GT Daytona category, with the 57, the car that won last year, just behind in second. So the GTP cars are hitting the traffic now, so they're having to navigate through that. Sebring can be very, very difficult to kind of weave through the traffic, more so than other circuits. That's what makes this race so iconic as well. One of the factors that makes it so iconic. So right now, Porsche are leading 1-2. Nazar ahead of Jaminet. The 7 ahead of the 6. The 963s look awesome. They look so competitive right now. This is going very well for the Porsches right now in GTP. The gap is starting to separate between the Porsches and the Porsches, Acuras, and the rest of the field. There is a close battle right now for 5th. I believe it's between a couple of cars. So that's the number 40 Wayne Taylor Racing Cadillac, the number 85 JDC Miller Porsche, and the car that started towards the back of the field, the Wheeling Cadillac. That's the number 31 car that had its issues in qualifying earlier on yesterday. So yeah, close battle right now for the positions. I think this is now kind of 6th place because the 40 car started to break away a little bit from JDC Miller Motorsports. And now it seems the 25 BMW is starting to catch up a little bit. Let's see. Oh, okay. And by the way, it's not the number 32 Mercedes that's in the lead. It's now the 57 Mercedes that's in the lead. So that car has actually dropped down to 3rd, and it's the number 12 Vassar Sullivan Lexus that has moved into 2nd. Vassar Sullivan need a strong result. The last time that they had a big result at Sebring was, of course, last year. The number 14 car got the win in GTD Pro. That remains the number 14 car's last win in GTD Pro. Now I feel it's time for the number 12 car to get a big result. I would love to see Lexus on top. I think the number 12 car in the hands of the drivers has a really strong lineup, has a really strong car. So I think that this is going to be really, really strong. Speaking of Lexus and Vassar Sullivan Racing, I want to point out as well that the number 14 car has a little bit of a driver change. Now, originally, it was going to be Ben Barnico that was in that car, but he had a cycling accident, and we wish him the speediest recovery. But in that car is a driver who has been driving the Lexus RCF GT3 for quite some time. It's Argentine Jose Mario Lopez. Lopez, of course, is a former winner of the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 2021, and he races in the WEC for the Lexus team there. That's a Codus ASP, by the way. So, yeah, Jose is bringing a lot of experience into that team, and hopefully he'll provide a really strong result here in IMSA's 12 hours of Sebring. So yeah, it's definitely going to be an exciting race for Lexus. Hopefully they can get a good result. Lopez, actually, if I'm not mistaken, has also won here at Sebring, not in the 12-hour endurance race, but in the WEC event when it was hosted here, the 1,000 miles of Sebring. They won the last event here in 2021, I believe, alongside his co-drivers, if I'm not mistaken, Mike Conway and Kamui Kobayashi in the number 7 Toyota GR010. Unless it was the number 8 car that won. I think it was the 7, but pretty sure it was the number 7 Toyota that won. I think it was a Toyota 1-2 in that race, the 8 in second. Someone can correct me on that if it's vice versa. I know it's a Toyota 1-2, but I don't remember which car exactly was that got the win. Okay, so we've been streaming now for over an hour. We're just heading into the first hour mark of this event. It's been an epic race at Sebring once again. A lot of storylines heading into this race that are being solved so far, and it's gonna continue. Remember, viewers, this race is just gonna get better and better, especially as we get into the nighttime hours. This is when things get really crazy. So watch out for the nighttime. That's all I can say. We have a comment coming in that says Valkyrie seems to maintain the pace compared to the rest of GTP. Yeah, the Valkyrie is actually doing not too bad. I want to say it's doing pretty good for a new entry. It's sticking with the rest of the GTP field. We expect that car not to be super competitive, but we'll see. Speaking of the Valkyrie, we have another comment coming in that says, where do you think AMR Valkyrie will end up? And also, are you disappointed with how the car performed in Qatar with DNF? Is this what you expected from a new car in the first year? So, a lot to unpack in that question for sure. First off, I think that the Valkyrie will end up either... I think it will finish towards the end of GTP. If they can finish the race, it would be a big deal. I think that would be really cool. Honestly, I'm not disappointed with the Qatar result for the Valkyrie entries. I know a lot of people were, but for me, I knew that was going to be the case. I was honestly expecting both the Valkyries to retire, considering this is a brand new car. It's a brand new car, and it's something that Aston Martin haven't done since 2011. The last time they did prototype racing was with the Lola cars back in 2011, and with the AMR 01, I think it was called, the AMR 1, which was a total disaster in my opinion. I think it only raced for 2 events. I think it was Le Castellet and Le Mans, if I'm not mistaken, in the Le Mans Cup, or Intercontinental Le Mans Cup. But anyway, back to the subject. I think that the Valkyrie's performance in Qatar was difficult, but to get one car to the finish in a 10-hour endurance race like Qatar is definitely a big result, I would say. They had their issues, but in general, the 007, which was the car that retired, lasted for quite a lot of laps. You know, it lasted for more than half the race. So compared to other new entries in Hypercar or GTP or whatever, it was actually a pretty decent event. We knew that was kind of going to be the case in general, but yeah, and it was really good. I honestly, I wasn't disappointed. I think that it was just like it was something that I kind of expected. I expected the Aston Martins to struggle, and they did. But honestly, they didn't struggle as bad as I thought. So up at the front, the top 4 have bridged a gap to the rest of the field. It's now a 10-second gap between the number 7 Porsche, which is leading the race, and the number 40 Wayne Taylor Racing Cadillac, which is in 5th. Right now, it is a battle between 2 manufacturers for the lead, Porsche and Acura. These cars, very competitive. These are both the factory entries, so the 2 Porsche Penske entries and the 2 Meyer-Shank Racing entries. The Porsches lead the way. The Acuras are right behind in 3rd and 4th position. The 60 ahead of the 93. So, so far things are looking really good for Porsche and Acura. things aren't looking so good for BMW. They have a competitive car. I think that they have either the second or maybe even the fastest car today. I would say right now Porsche has the fastest car, but they just got unlucky with that drive-through, of course. And the 24 entry hopefully will come back through the field. I bet it will. The 25 BMW is in the fight for fifth right now, so that car is somewhat there. The 24 will cycle back up to the front. Even if it doesn't catch up, it will likely get there with the inevitable safety car or caution period that we get out later on in the event. So yeah, it's inevitable that we see the 24 car up at the front once again. Meanwhile, at the back of GTP, the Proton Competition Porsche is actually under pressure from an entry that we've been talking about a lot today, the Valkyrie AMR LMH. The number 23 car is right on the back of the Mustang sampling car looking for 10th position. This would be big for Heart of Racing if they can get ahead of a Porsche. The 963 is a very, very competitive race car. Proton Competition hasn't had the best of starts. They had a difficult start to this race. The 963 dropped from 5th down to, I think it was 12th at the time, and it's been towards the back of the field right now. So it hasn't been a good start for the number 5 Proton Competition Porsche. Also, the Dries Vanthoor BMW still at the back in GTP with the number 10 Wayne Taylor Racing Cadillac a couple seconds ahead. That car, something happened with that entry. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Maybe a mistake or something. Speaking of mistakes, we're watching the number 18 car, which had that spin earlier on, go a little off the track at turn 1, I think that is. It's okay. It's all good. In terms of the other classes, in the lead in LMP2 continues to be Stephen Thomas in the number 11 TDS Racing car. So he's built up a very good gap to the rest of the field. I think it's about 6 seconds from the other entries. So far, really good for TDS Racing, who finished runner-up in the event last time out. Leading in GTD Pro continues to be Albert Costa Balboa in the 81 Ferrari. So a home win for Dragon Speed would be a huge result, especially considering the programs. Oh, wait, hold on. What happened here? Oh, that's a replay, I think. Is that a replay? Sorry, I saw a big crash for one of the GTD entries. That was the Wayne Taylor Racing Cadillac. I don't know if it happened. I don't think it happened live. I think it was earlier or in qualifying. I can't remember exactly. But what was I saying? I can't remember exactly what I was saying. Oh, hold on a second. An incident. That's the 74 Riley car off the track. Oh, he rejoins in a very dangerous position. The Lone Star Racing car gets back on the track. Oh, and I remember what I was saying. I was talking about the Dragon Speed team. So, home event for Dragon Speed. Of course, can't speak. They're based in Florida. The Dragon Speed car has been on pole position. It's been doing really well, and I think a big result here at Sebring, of course their home event, like I mentioned, would be a really strong result. Dragon Speed have this new program. You know, they've been racing in LMP2 in the past. This is just their 4th event with the Ferrari 296 GT3, their 3rd event in GTD Pro. So, yeah, in general, I don't know. It's just, I'd like to see a big result for Dragon Speed. I think it'd be really cool. They deserve a big result, especially here in Florida. But we'll see how it goes. Up at the front, a little bit of a battle going on here for GTP. It's the number 7 Porsche ahead of the number 6 car. Gemini is right on the back of Nazar. Now, with Blomqvist right behind, I wonder what Porsche Penske is going to do. It seems that Gemini has really good pace in that number 6 car. If I were Porsche Penske, I would move the Porsches. I'd swap the Porsches. But here's the problem: they got a charging New Zealand-raised, British-born racer right behind Tom Blomqvist, who's in that number 60 Acura. He's right behind, and if Porsche make a mistake with the swap of the two cars, then the Acura is going to pounce and it's going to get into the lead. So if Porsche's got a really difficult situation here. You could either keep the cars in the place they are now and not risk losing the lead to the Acura, or you could swap the positions and risk losing the positions to the number 60 Acura. But if they successfully pull it off, the number 6 car could theoretically start growing the gap while the number 7 car holds back the 60. So I don't know. It's a really difficult situation for Porsche Penske right now. It seems that both cars have decent pace. Oh, and hold on a second. We got our first major pit stop for one of the leading cars. It is the leader in LMP2, the TDS Racing entry. Stephen Thomas is into the pits for a mandatory stop. Taking over the lead is the number 22 United Autosports car with Daniel Goldberg behind the wheel. This is the entry that inherited the win of Daytona after the technical infraction for the number 8 Tower Motorsports car, which saw them lose the win, unfortunately. No major scheduled stops for any GTP entries so far. The top 3 remain the same in GTP. They have built a sizable gap to Delatraz and the 40 Cadillac, so pretty good right now. The number 7 has actually got ahead of the number 6 a little bit. The traffic has helped them out, so far that's pretty good for Nasser. Also, a penalty for Till Beschlesheimer in the number 66 Ford from Gradient Racing. That was for contact with another entry, I believe, at the hairpin. And that number 64 car will have to serve the penalty quite soon. So far, it's not turning out to be a decent race for Ford right now. Their cars are not really in the top 5 in any of the classes. The 66 cars, of course, in GTD. That entry will drop further back because of the penalty. The Multimatic cars are further down the order. I don't know exactly where they are. I think they're still towards the back. First major pit stop for one of the GTD Pro entries coming up. It's the number 48 BMW from Paul Miller Racing. That car is into the pit lane. Meanwhile, the leaders in LMP2 are coming in as well. Daniel Goldberg, PJ Hyatt, and I believe Nick Buell as well. So United Autosports, AO Racing, it seems PR1 Matheson Motorsports, all coming into the pit lane. So a lot of pit stops going on already for the LMP2 teams. Theoretically, the TDS Racing entry will cycle back up to the front. We're watching Dan Harper perform the pit stop for the number 48 BMW, or the team, rather, performing the pit stop. Dan Harper will take the car away. Very quick stop from Paul Miller Racing. Very neat and tidy. That car gets back out on track and will be in contention for the win once again once it rejoins. So all LMP2 cars that were in the top 5 are in the pit lane. Like I said, TDS Racing will cycle back up to the front with their LMP2 car. They went for the undercut strategy, which actually worked out quite well. Taking over the lead, though, will be a new driver to LMP2. That's Jeremy Clark, who's in the number 43 Inter-Europol car. He goes into the lead. And yeah, so far, really good stint by them. Of course, they will have to pit, so the 43 car has not pit. And interestingly, TDS Racing does not cycle to the front. It's Nick Buell that cycles to the front in the number 2 United Autosports car. So theoretically, it is going to be a United Autosports 1-2 once Clark comes into the pit lane for Inter-Europol. So right now, things are going really well for United Autosports. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Paul DeResta received his watch. This was a thing that was talked about. Paul DeResta received his watch, but he's not wearing it because he said that he wants to get the second one too, basically. So it's possible that United Autosports can do that. I mean, they have 2 cars right now in provisional leading position. So first and second right now, things are going really well for United Autosports. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So here is the rundown of all the class leaders. Number 7, Porsche currently leads in GTP with Felipe Nasr behind the wheel. Nick Buell will inherit the lead from Jeremy Clark, who's currently leading in the 43 Inter-Europol LMP2. Still in the lead for Dragon Speed in GTD Pro is Albert Costa Balboa in the number 81 Ferrari. And finally, GTD is being led by last year's winners of Sebring, Windward Racing, who are with that number 57 car, and I believe it's Philip Ellis that is leading in that car. So things are going well for Mercedes and GTD with their cars in first and third right now. There was a little bit of an issue for Lone Star Racing's Mercedes. That's the third AMG GT3 in the field. It went off the track with a little bit of mistake, but it seems that there's no major incident. Back in LMP2, Jeremy Clark does indeed pit for the pit stop, and it will be... Oh, wait, hold on a second. I think I read it wrong. So Stephen Thomas will take back the lead. That makes more sense for TDS Racing. TDS Racing are back in the lead of LMP2. So I think there was a little bit of a some sort of graphic mistake, or I read it wrong or something like that. So right now the top 5 in LMP2 is Stephen Thomas in the number 11 TDS Racing car. Second place is Daniel Goldberg in the number 22 United Autosports entry. PJ Hyatt is in the number 99 AO Racing Spike car. He's in third position. Then comes the second of the United Autosports car. That's Nick Buell in the number 2 United car. And then finally, in fifth is the car that had a little bit of an incident earlier on. That's the number 88 PCOM Racing entry. And in that car is, I believe, Luis Perez Compact. So a veteran driver of the field, of course. He actually has his son racing in that car as well this weekend, Matthias Perez Compact. So, yeah, the father-son driver pairing, and of course, lining up alongside them is a driver who knows all too well about winning in endurance racing, Nicholas Nielsen, who won, of course, the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 2024, most recent winner of Le Mans. Actually, I believe there's 2 winners on the grid from Le Mans last year in the overall category. Nicholas Nielsen's Ferrari teammate, Antonio Foco, is also in the field in the number 47 Saddler Racing car. So, 2 cars that have a very 2 entries that have very experienced drivers. I don't think Miguel Molina is here today. He usually races for AF Corsa in the GTD field. Last time out at Daytona, I think he raced at in the number 50 Ferrari, which isn't here today. But I don't think he's here unless I'm mistaken. He could be here, but I don't know. Anyway, in GTD Pro, a little bit of a fight for the lead. This is the closest fight, I think. Heinrich is on the back of Albert Costa Balboa, Porsche versus Ferrari. And we know the last time that, or not the last time, but one of the times that Ferrari and Porsche had a battle here at Sebring was one of the most iconic battles in Sebring history. So that was the 2007 race in the nighttime hours when it was almost a photo finish between the number, I think it was the number 62 Racing Ferrari and the Porsche from Flying Lizard Motorsports, if I'm not mistaken. So those were 2 cars that were battling it out, and eventually it was Ferrari that took the win, but just barely, you know. It was won on the final lap, on the final corner of a 12-hour endurance race. And that just speaks of why Sebring is so iconic, why it is so incredibly close. The competitive action is so amazing. Will we get a similar result in GTD Pro with Ferrari and Porsche at the front battling for the win once again? I guess we'll wait and see till the end. And just to confirm, Ford are sitting in, I believe, let's see here, 6th and 7th, I believe. Yeah, 6th and 8th. Sorry, 6th and 8th. So Ford are in the fight, but they're not in the leading positions right now. So, yeah. No change in GTP at the front. It continues to be the number 7 Porsche that has built a pretty sizable gap to the sister car, the number 6 car. So, Porsche Penske continue to lead 1-2. It's going really well for the defending winners of Daytona. If Porsche wins Sebring, they will take their, I believe, 19th victory of the 12 Hours of Sebring and first victory since, I believe, 2008, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, a lot to look forward to for sure when it comes to Porsche Penske. Blomqvist is right on the back of the number 6 car, so we could see a change. It might not be a Porsche 1-2 for long, as the number 60 Acura is right there and in contention. Oh, big incident, big incident. That's the 023 Triarci Ferrari. Caution, there's smoke coming out from the top of Charles Scardina's number 023 car. That's a big incident, actually. The front of the car is looks to have some pretty major damage. That is not what we want to see from Triarci Competizione. And that car is at the there's the AMR safety crew. Scardina's getting out of the car. Thankfully, the driver is okay, but there is some sort of smoke at the front of the car. Actually, it seemed to die down a little bit, but the 023 Ferrari in the wall, definitely another caution period. Let's see what happens. So, there was contact. And the Ferrari just got pushed into the wall. Oh, that's a heavy impact, actually. So, it was contact with the number 10 Wingtailor Racing Cadillac. That car's really had a difficult race so far. So, I could expect a penalty for the 10. And this could be our first retirement of the race as well. If so, this would be a very early retirement for Triarci Competizione and a pretty difficult race for them, I guess, with the 023 car at least. Phil Thomas in the comments says, "Hey, this is great. Thanks, Jonah. I don't get the TV/stream broadcast. It's you and John with Radio Le Mans and timing scoring. Really appreciate the support. I do really appreciate you coming on here and watching the live feed. John, of course, is great on Radio Le Mans as well. One of the best commentators we've seen in sports car endurance racing. He's definitely one of the best. So, safety car, I believe, is being called out. This will actually help Dries Vanthoor in the number 24 BMW. That car will be able to get towards the front again, thankfully, for BMW. I want to see that car do well. After what happened to them, redemption here at Sebring would be great. It's a long race, so even though the drama happened for them at the start, they will have a competitive car throughout the race, and hopefully they can get back in. So, drama. Our second safety car of the day, Triarci Competizione, the 023, contact with the 10 Cadillac. This put Charles Scardina, the driver behind the wheel, into the wall with a pretty heavy impact, to be honest. That car is really destroyed at the front, and honestly, I see this car's day done, which is so unfortunate if this is the case. We're just an hour in, and we have our first retirement from what it seems like. I need a closer view of the car. I'm only seeing an aerial view of the Ferrari, so it's hard to see if the front... from what it looks like, it seems the entire half section of the front is completely torn off. It was a pretty big impact with the wall, I'd say. So, yeah, this is not looking good for Triarci Ferrari. They still have another entry in the race, the 021 JG Wentworth car. So, and the JG Wentworth Ferrari, that's the green Ferrari, the only all green and white Ferrari in the field. That car's still there, but this is the car that Onofrio Triarci, of course, is driving. Owner of Triarci Competizione. This is not what they want, though, for sure. Okay, so we're under caution period once again at the 12 hours of Sebring for the second time. Like I said, this should hopefully catch the field up. And this should allow the number 24 BMW to get up to the front of the pack. This should also help a lot of the other entries, like the number 40 Cadillac, to get involved in the fight. It seems that Cadillac don't have the pace. I would say that Cadillac have a decent pace car, but they definitely have the fourth fastest entry here, which is a shame considering that Cadillac had the fastest car last year and the year before that, in my opinion. But it's clearly Porsche, BMW, and Acura that have the fastest cars here. Maybe Cadillac will come back faster, come back stronger in the race during the night. Maybe it will be a little bit better. Maybe this is a different strategy for them, but you can tell that the V Series R entries are not having the day they want. Speaking of Cadillac, they have a pit stop going on, a mandatory stop for the number 40 Wayne Taylor racing car. So this is the first of the mandatory stops for a GTP entry. So going into fifth is the number 85 JDC Miller Porsche 963. So Porsche now have three cars in the top five, and the only other entries that are in the top five that aren't Porsches are the two Acuras from Meyer Shank Racing. Oh, and actually, I'm Ron. The JDC Miller car is actually in the pits as well. A lot of the GTP cars are in the pits. That's the 31 Cadillac, the 40 Cadillac, the JDC Miller Porsche, the Lamborghini, I believe the Aston Martin as well. Same thing with the BMW. So the top four cars have stayed out. It seems everybody else is pit. So I assume that the top four will come into the pit lane. And this is where things could change as well. The Wheeling Cadillac is actually cycled to the front of the top five, or of the bottom entries. So that's from fifth down, it's the Wheeling Cadillac that now leads. It was originally the Wayne Taylor Racing Cadillac that was at the front of that queue. Now the Wheeling Cadillac is leading. That's probably down to a change in strategy, a different type of strategy that they have here. And I'm curious to see if Porsche will come into the pit lane with the two Penske entries. Same thing with Meyer Shank Racing with the Acuras. We'll definitely see. I can't wait to get, just on a personal note, I can't wait to get a good night's sleep tonight. It's been a long morning for me. Woke up at 4 a.m. in the morning to get the live stream going. Then I've been kind of awake pretty much since that point. It's now 8 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, just interesting. We have a comment coming in, but I'm just gonna. Before I do that, I want to see if the Porsches and the Acuras come into the pit lane real quickly. Let's see. Show the pit lane, please. So a lot of the GT cars are coming in. Where are the leaders in GTP? Are they into the pit lane or have they stayed out? It seems like they've stayed out. That's interesting. So a split in strategy here. Unless I'm wrong, unless I saw another couple of cars. It seems like they stayed out on track. We aren't panning over to it just yet, if they are in the pits. But I don't think they are. We would have panned over to those cameras right now. So this is an interesting situation. So the Porsches and the Acuras have stayed out on track unless they've already pit and I just didn't see it. They might have already pit, to be honest. I could be wrong. Okay, while we have this moment here, I'm going to answer a quick question coming in. Hey, question. Coming from F1 World, I'm aware how a new F1 team can enter F1 grid. What about in the WEC series? How does a team enter the grid, and is it different from LMP teams and GT teams? Great question. Now, I'll try and answer this the best I possibly can. I'm kind of going off at the top of my head here. So, it's pretty. I mean, F1 is a little bit more. There is a process to getting in. I would say that F1 is a little bit more, or WEC and IMSA is a little bit more relaxed when it comes to entries. And they have a system which works really well for putting in entries and stuff like that. There are a few rules that need to be followed. For example, in GTP or in IMSA, they have the rule where it's all manufacturers entering GTP must produce 2,500 road cars per year in order to enter the race or enter the championship. So all 6 manufacturers in GTP have produced more than 2,500 road cars per year. But this prohibits teams like Glickenhaus, a manufacturer that was interested in joining IMSA. They are not able to join. But then again, it probably wasn't going to be the case. Yeah. But that's kind of how it goes with Hypercar and GTP and WEC and IMSA. It's a little bit more relaxed compared to F1. I think in F1 there's a little bit more of a system they have to follow. It's very strict from what I've seen. I mean, if anything's to go by, the Cadillac entry that's just come in, the team that's entered in F1 in 2026, Cadillac, they went through a massive process to get in. It was really, really difficult. And I think the thing that I've noticed from IMSA and WEC versus F1, and this is nothing against F1. I really love the series. Of course, I started out doing F1 content, so I do love it. But for me, it seemed like when Andretti was trying to join Formula One and when Cadillac was trying to join Formula One and all that sort of thing, and also, by the way, we have the Porsches and the Acuras coming into the pit lane. When that was happening, it seemed like that it seemed like a lot of the other teams didn't want them to join at all. Like there was a lot of pushback over them trying to join. There was a lot of people saying, a lot of teams and saying that like we don't want this brand or whatever. Where it seems like IMSA and WEC are a little bit more open arms. They are very all the rest of the manufacturers teams. They're really excited to have more brands in the series. And a good example of this was back when Aston Martin announced that they were joining the grid in GTP and the hypercar class, all the other manufacturers were super supportive of them. And they were like, bring on the competition. We're really excited to have another brand in the series, another brand representing this awesome era. And it was a completely different situation from what we saw in Formula One with other teams. And this was actually I think it was during the time when Andretti was rejected from the F1 grid. And so to have Aston Martin with their Valkyrie program be received the entirely opposite direction when it comes to that, it was just really, really big. Now, I want to quickly point out, there is a change for the lead in GTP. The number 93 Meyer-Shank Racing Acura is now in the race lead. It's followed by the 7 Porsche, the 6 Porsche, and then finally the number 60 Meyer-Shank Racing Acura. So the reason why the 93 car has got ahead is because of strategy. It's not positions. It's not how that goes. It seems that Porsche did a longer stop. Meyer-Shank Racing did a different type of stop for the 93 car, and that cycled that entry to the front. That's what I can guess, and from what I watched. It's possible also that the Meyer-Shank Racing car just got ahead on pure pace. Problem for the Wayne Taylor Racing Cadillac. That's the number 10 car. This entry has not had a good start to the season. Something is wrong at the front of the car for the number 10 V Series R. They've removed the entire front of the car. Something is going on. I can't tell exactly what is going on from what is that? They've put whatever it was, they fixed the issue because the Wayne Taylor Racing Cadillac, they're putting the pieces back on. They're getting the car ready to go back out on track. So whatever it was, it seems to be fixed. And so now Wayne Taylor Racing are sending that car back out on track, but I think it will likely be last in the field. So that's a little unfortunate, but that's just life. And hopefully the entry will catch back up. If not during the safety car period, during the next or the next one after that. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay. So 10 minutes and 52, 10 hours and 52 minutes remain of the session. The first hour has come and gone. It's been a pretty epic race so far for the 12 hours of Sebring. The safety car is out on track due to an issue for the 023 Ferrari. That's the Triarsi Competizione car. That entry has seemingly retired from the race, which is super unfortunate. That's our first retirement. So now have 55 cars in the field, if I'm not mistaken. Porsche has lost the lead to Acura temporarily. Actually, you know what? I think I'm wrong. There's a few other cars that have cycled to the front. It seems the Lamborghini are leading the race right now, from what it seems, but that's due to pit stops and all that sort of thing. So this has kind of changed, and we'll definitely see like how it changes throughout the field. You know, this is all down to strategy right now. So even though it shows Lamborghini are in the lead, then it's the 31 Cadillac. That's not kind of how it's going to go. This is going to change throughout the sessions, so throughout the race. once things kind of mix around a little and get back in the field. I'm hoping that BMW can recover from the early drama that they had and get the 24 car in the fight and hopefully be in contention for the win later on. We'll see. We'll see how that goes for the M Hybrid V8 entries. Okay. I was a little loud. I'm sorry. We are kind of at a point right now where it's a good time for me to take a break. I've been streaming for now 2 hours. So I don't want to stream the whole race. I think I would lose my entire voice. I got to take a break. And it's going to be an epic rest of this race here at Sebring. We have so many cars in the fight for wins across all 4 of the IMSA categories. Big thank you to IMSA for coming into the chat as well and being so supportive of this channel. Really appreciate that. It means a whole lot to me and really lifts the day up. Thank you for everybody who has watched the stream today. We had new highs. We had a lot of people join, a lot of connections made, and just a wonderful community that you all are. And I really do appreciate the support. So if you want to watch the rest of the race, you can check it out on live timing or on IMSA TV and IMSA's official YouTube channel over in the international world. So if you're outside the US, you can watch those options. That's basically what I'm saying. If you're in the USA, the only way to watch is on the Peacock streaming service. That's the best way to catch the action from the 12 hours of Sebring. This race has just kicked off, but it's going to get even better as the race progresses. So that's it for me. I'm going to sign off here from the live stream. I appreciate you all joining in. I'm Jonah, signing off for now. And also keep an eye on the YouTube channel for the days to come. We'll be coming out with recaps from the event, what's happened, updates. I'm going to try and get as much content as I can out. I'll be working all day and night to get everything to you as soon as possible. So thank you all so much for your support as always. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the 12 hours of Sebring. It's been an epic race so far. It will continue to be. And I'm Jonah, signing